Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Section 2 in the Side Street Driving series. Now, in Section 1, we talked about the seeing habits that you'll use when you're driving by parked vehicles. But there's still a heck of a lot more we need to talk about on this subject. So pull up your chair and let's get to it. Because when you're driving in smaller side street areas, you're going to be going around a lot of parked vehicles and a bunch of other things. So in this section, that's going to be the focus, how to go around different things safely. So let's start at this street here, which is wide enough to fit 3 vehicles side by side. Now, in this first scenario, there's only myself and the parked vehicle on the street. Now, anytime the parked vehicle is on my side of the street, it's my responsibility to keep the situation as safe as possible for everyone involved. So, I'll prepare to go around this vehicle by starting with the seeing habit, scanning parked vehicles, to look for any signs of danger. But when it comes time to scan inside the vehicle, sometimes I can't see. My vision can be affected by the sun shining and reflecting off the windows. Maybe the windows are tinted. I could be driving at night. Those kind of things. So because I can't trust that my vision is always 100%, I just assume there's always a person sitting in the driver's seat ready to fling their door open at any moment. That way, I'm never caught off guard. Now, since I'm leery that the driver's door might open, I'm going to move my vehicle over to my left enough so that when it comes time to pass the parked vehicle, if they open their door by mistake, I'm far enough over that there's no chance I would hit their door. Then, once I've passed the parked vehicle, I'll move back into my proper lane positioning and I'm done. It's really that easy to be a safe-minded driver. And FYI, you'll want to make sure that you check out the Tidbits Extra video, 2A, How Seeing Habits Change When You Go Around Something, just to make sure that you're on the right track. And that's going to drop this Friday. And while we're on this little break, if you're enjoying this video, why not give it a like right now, just so you know it's done. Alrighty, let's move on. So now let's add a vehicle approaching from the opposite direction. Now in this type of scenario, the most important thing that I need to determine is who's going to reach that parked vehicle first, me or that approaching vehicle. So as soon as I see that vehicle, I must quickly answer the question, can I clear the area around the parked vehicle and then get back into my proper lane positioning before that approaching vehicle would reach the area? So to answer that question, I also need to take into consideration the area in front of the parked vehicle where my car will need to fit back into. So that distance needs to be part of the equation. So that brings me back to my original question. Is there enough room for me to go? Well, I really don't know. And anytime I'm not 100% sure that something can be done safely, well, then I just don't do it. Now, this particular scenario we've been talking about is very basic, so all I really need to do here is slow my approach towards the parked vehicle to wait for the approaching driver to pass through the area first. And if my slowing doesn't seem to be giving that driver enough time to clear, well then I'll brake to a full stop. Now, I'd like to take a moment to point something out just to add a little more to this scenario. Now, communication is a very important part of safe driving, so I want to show you a subtle way that you can communicate, because there's a heck of a lot of other ways to communicate besides simply flicking on a turn signal. And one of the most important ways to communicate is by the position of your vehicle. So here's the thing, because I'm choosing to stay back to allow that vehicle to clear the area first, I want to communicate what I'm doing to that approaching driver. Because if that driver is also a safe-minded driver like myself, and they're not sure that I'm going to slow or stop to create a safety buffer, well then they will start to slow to create the safety buffer for themselves, which will make the whole process a whole lot longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to start the communication process by simply moving my vehicle over just a little bit to the right. Now, I want to pull over enough to communicate my intentions, but not so far over that people around me may think I'm pulling over to park. And because I need to stop and wait for the other driver, I want to add a left turn signal just to communicate even further that I'm not parking, because I never want the person behind me to think, oh, they're pulling over, I should go around them. And it's all finished up by the oncoming vehicle passing through the area, and then once it's clear and safe, I'll head in and take my turn. Okay, so that's it. We've safely gone around a parked vehicle with and without a vehicle approaching from the opposite direction. So keep an eye out this Friday for the next Tidbits video. And then Tuesday, October 8th, I'll see you over at the next video in this section, Going Around Things, Vehicles Part 2, where we'll talk about how to handle a few different scenarios when the parked vehicle is now on the other side of the street. Now, if you could do me a solid and hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate that, and it goes a long way to help keep this channel growing and keeping it going. And if you want to know the minute the next video drops, and all future videos that I'll be sneaking in here and there, then just hit that notification button. Okay then, that's it. So stay safe out there, and I will see you when I see you. Take care.